Hi and welcome to my channel. This video is for those students and people who want to learn Excel from the basic, from the start, from the zero. And I have already opened my Excel. You can find Excel on your computer and start it. By default, Excel starts with 3 sheets, sheet 1, 2 and 3. I'm using Office 2010 version, so if you're using another version, maybe the Outlook may be a little bit of different, but mostly it's the same. First, what I'm going to do is save my workbook. I'll go to File and click on Save, and here I'll name it Marksheet because I'm going to design a mark sheet. All of the people are familiar with it, those who have been through the school. So I'm going to start with the mark sheet, and these are the basic. Let me give you some basic introduction. These are the columns A, B, C. These all are the columns, and from here starts the rows 1, 2, 3, 4. By the intersection of the column and the row, we get a cell. For example, this is A1, column A and row number 1, and here in the name box we can see its name A1. If we go to the another column in another row, we will get A2, A3, A4 like this, and from here B1, C1, D1. Though these are the columns and the rows, and let's start doing, and these are the ribbons as shortcuts. So let's start our lesson, and I'm going to design a mark sheet. So I'll just leave this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just leave these 5 rows and I'll start from here. First of all, if you want to write something in a cell, just select it and start typing. It will automatically type. So first thing I'm going to write is the serial number, and then the student name, student, and next should be, for example, the subject English. I'll just write a shortcut ENG, and then maths and physics, biology and chemistry. I'll just stick to 5 subjects, and here we are going to get our total marks, and we'll continue the rest later on slowly one by one. And I'll just minimize the size of the serial number. Here we can write 1, 2. There's so many ways to fill. Suppose if I want to fill this, I'll just select both of them. But you are new to Excel, you can see the mouse changes. Let me zoom. You can see the mouse when I put the cursor changes here. You see the size of the cursor, shape of the cursor changes. Now in this, when the cursor is in this plus mark, you see now you can select. But when it changes to this narrow plus mark, you drag it and you see automatically I getting the serial numbers filled. See, like this. Let me delete it, show you again. You just write 1, 2, select both of them. This is the easiest way, and as much as you want, you can see it's changing. I will just keep it to 15. Suppose that's 15. This is one way to do it, and you can do it through fill also, but this is the easiest way, and we can learn one by one. Let me resize this. Let me zoom out. So here I'll write the student name, for example Tahir, Leila, Naeem, and Daisy. Here I'll write, you can resize the column just by dragging it or double click. Suppose, let me show by just drag it or just double click, and it will resize automatically. Now here I'll put the marks that they have achieved. For example, 55, and this is 60 and 80 and 70 and 55. To save some time, I've paused the video and I've entered all the marks, so to save some time. Now the first thing we will do, let me resize if you want to resize all of them and fix to the size of the content, just select them. To do the selection, go to the top of the column and select them, then just double click, and you see it has been automatically sized to the fit to the content. I want the total of each and every student. So to type a formula you have to first use the sign equal to. This means that we are using a formula. So to sum this value, English, Maths, all the subject, to sum them, we can directly write equal to sum, then just press tab, and you see here it gives us the number. We can select them, press enter, that's it, we get the total here. This is one way to do it. The second way to do it, just press the shortcut Alt equal to, you see it selects automatically, press enter. And the third way to do it, just go to here, click auto sum here, and the ribbon you can see here it's written auto sum. Just click the auto sum and you will get the sum of these values. Now I want to fill all this, so I don't want to write for each and every student the formula. And the one way to do it is just select them. I'll just select this cell and double click here. When the cursor changes to this narrow hair like plus, just double click and you see it is automatically filled. Let me check the last one. Just click on the formula bar and you can see it has been summed. It will show you this yellow color box, it shows you the sum. So this is one way to do it. The second way to do it, I'll just delete this. I'll just select them and delete. The second way to do it is select, let me select all of them. I'll do it with the keyboard. Hold the shift key and press the down arrow. This way is this to select them. I've selected all of them and I'll just press Control D. And you see the formula is automatically filled for me. Control D. Let me do it again. I'll delete this. Just select, delete them. I'll select the cell that has the formula. I'm selecting the keyboard, so if you want to select with the keyboard, hold the shift key and keep moving with the arrow down key. Now I'll just press Control D and it's filled. So this is the sum of the marks that has been obtained by each and every student. Let me fix the size. I want to change these headings to bold. So what to do is just select them and you can select here bold from here, or you can use the shortcut key Control B. These are mostly in Microsoft Word. Also you can find the same keys, Control B. This turns to bold. I want these marks also to be bold. Let me select them with keyboard. If you want to select them with keyboard, all of them, just select the first cell, hold the shift and the Control key, press down arrow and it will select all of them. Now press Control B and it turns to bold. Till here we are done. Now let's calculate the percentage of each student. I'll just put the percentage mark here. Okay. Now to calculate the percentage, I want to center this. So you can just go right here and click on center. So I want to find the percentage of each student. To find the percentage, I must know the total marks first. So I'll write here marks, and I'll assume all of them are 100. So to fill all the 5 subjects with 100 at one time, instead of typing 100 here, then with tab I go to another 100 like this. Instead of that, I just want to type with single click. So I'll just select them. I'll hold the shift key with the right arrow. I'll select all of them. In the first one, I'll just write 100. Now hold the Control key and press enter. You see that? Very easy. Now, and the total marks, I want to find the sum equal to sum, and I'll just select them, press enter. 500 is the total. Control B, make it bold. So now I want to find the percentage of each student, how much marks he has achieved. To do that, I'll just write equal to this marks divided by, for divide we use slash, by this. Press enter. You get 0.64. Now to format it as a percentage, I'll just click here on the percentage. You see this, it's already there, and the shortcut key is Control Shift and percentage. Another way to do it is go to this general. From here you can select percentage and Control Z. Another way to do is just hold Control 1 to format the cell, Control 1, and from here I'll select percentage. See, now there are zeros in it. If you want to keep the zeros, okay. If you want to remove them, then we can remove, just again press Control 1, and here you can see the decimal places here. So suppose if I want to keep two zeros, okay. If you don't want to keep 2 zeros, just you can remove the decimals or keep the 2 zeros as you want. From here you can remove the decimal places. You can also remove the decimals from here. See, decrease decimal. Let me select the cell, decrease decimal or increase decimal. So I'll keep the 2 zeros. To fill, now there's one thing you must remember. In sum, we have just filled the formula. Just drag the formula and it's filled. Here you can see whenever you click, it automatically moves down and selects the cells with it. Excel assumes the cell, selects the cells automatically. So here if I click on Control D, it gives me an error. Why? Let me click on the formula bar and show you. Now you see here, as first I have selected 500. Let me show you here. 500, 320 divided by 500. As I move to the next cell, and the formula automatically takes this cell, the second one. The second one is total. It's a text, not a number. So what we have to do, we have to fix this 500. This cell, it should be fixed. The Excel should not change this cell. It should change these numbers going one by one, but not this one. So to fix a cell, I'll go to the formula first, the first one you see here. Now I've selected, now this N4, you see here 500, this is N4. This N4 should be fixed. So to fix a cell, you will just select it, click here, press F4, and when you press F4, you see there's a dollar sign before the column and dollar sign before the row number. That means this cell is fixed now. Let me press enter. Now I'll just fill the formula just by holding the, press Control D, and it's filled, but there's no error now. Let me check the last one. Just click here, you see N4, because by pressing F4 or by putting a dollar sign before the column and before the row, I fixed this cell. Now in the formula, whenever I drag the formula, it will not change 500, this it will stay here, but this cell has changed. You see 200 and 220, 288. So the Excel knows that when I enter the dollar sign before the column and before the row, it means that cell will be fixed, it will not be changed. So all this 288 divided by 500. Let's go to the another cell. Click here in the formula bar. You see 500 is fixed, 309. So this way you can fix the cell if you want, because I want this, the 500 is the total marks for all the students, so I fixed it. This way we have found the percentage. Now we have found the, calculated the total sum, we have given the percentage. Now I want to give them grades. Grade, for example, we'll just write grade, and I want to give them grade A, B, C, D according to the percentage they have achieved. So to do that, so many people they use nested if formulas, like for example, if it's above 64, then give A. If it's less than 64, give this. But I prefer to use a table. That's why I've left this place blank. So to use a table, I'll just write here the percentage. I'll create a table first. I'll write the percentage, and start from 0, and here I'll write the grade. The percentage starts from 0%. Let me center them. And for 0 I'll just write nothing. Our passing marks in our Pakistan is 33, so I'll start from 33%, and it's grade E. And from 33 to 40 it's E. After 40% it's D. I paused the video to save some time, so I have written the grades already here. Now I want to give it a good look, so I think I'll remove these lines. You see, by default there are grid lines here, you see this, and I don't like it. I prefer to give them my own borders, so I'll just remove these grid lines. To remove the grid lines, we'll go to view, and just you see here, just remove the grid lines. The grid lines have been removed. Now I want to give them border bar as I like. I'll select this all and go to home, select the border from here. I want all borders. Now I'll select this one. Let me select a few more because I'm going to write positions also. I'll select this one and just go to borders and click all borders. You can also give borders through formatting. Let me show you that. Control Z. Just select the area and press Control 1, go to borders, and from here also you can select all the borders. Click OK, and it's done. I'll name this as the grade table, and to give the grade, assign the grade to each student, I'll use the lookup formula. I'll just press equal to look up. Another way to do is you can just directly click here the function. If you don't know what formula to put or how it is used, just click on function. Let me show you. Select the cell, click on function. Here you can write the formula also. Look up, press enter. It gives you the formula. Click OK. You see it's two type. Lookup vector, you can find this one. OK. Now you see here you can do it. So the lookup value is this one. Let me remove it. Lookup value is 64%. That's I want to look up for. Click on the icon. The lookup vector is here in this table from 0 to 100. Now click on the result, and I'll select from 0 to error. Click OK, and the grade assigned is B, but I prefer doing it manually. I'll press equal to look up, press tab. So the lookup value is 64. This is 06. Now I'll put a comma. You can see here before, when I haven't put a comma, you see it's bold. That means you see here 06. This is the lookup value. But as I enter a comma, it automatically goes to lookup vector. So you must understand this thing. If you understand the syntax of the formula, it will be very easy for you to use the formula and remember the formula. So the lookup vector, now I'll select these cells. Now I'll again comma, the result vector is this. Press enter. It gives me B grade, but I have to lock. As I'll fill the formula down, it will keep moving down. So I know I want to fix this table. So to fix it, I'll just go to the formula bar, select the lookup vector. You see both the cells are selected now. I'll press F4 once. Now I'll go to the result vector. I'll press F4 once. Press enter. Now I'll just fill the formula by pressing Control D. You see all the grades are given. Let me write a shortcut, GRD. Great. So this is the easiest way to integrate, and whenever you change this, and this is called a soft coding because I have not hard coded it. Anytime I can change it. Suppose if I want to select this percentage 35, there is no E grade, so let me do some changes here. I'll give him 33, 33, 33, 33, 33. Okay, now it gets E grade. But what if you want to change that the passing marks should be 35? Just come here, write 35 percentage, press enter, and he will get a 0 grade. He will get no grade for it. Let me write for 0, let me write a blank space, or fail. If you write fail here, it will be automatically fail, or if you write just leave blank, it will be given a blank. There will be no grade for it now. So he has achieved 33, but no grade for him. As I change this to 33, back to 33, so this is called soft coding. I have not hard coded my percentage, I have not hard coded my grades, and you will be astonished to know that why I have written above for 100 I have written error. Why? Let me show you that, and let's understand how it works first. The lookup, it's 33 from 0 to 33, 32.999. it will give the blank grade, but as it reaches 33, the VLOOKUP finds 33. From 33 to 40, before achieving 40, it will give the E grade, and so on it will go on. The lookup will give the grades. It will jump from here, from one cell to the other, until it finds the matching, that is for 33. Now this is 59, 59.40. 59.40 means it's not 60, so it will not give him 60, and it's not 50, it's above 50, so it will start from 50, and before reaching 60, it will to all of the students it will give the C grade. Now why I've written for 100 I've written error. For example, you make a mistake, typing mistake. Let me do that. Let me give this person 100 marks. Control Shift and Enter. You see it gets A plus. But what if by mistake you type 1110? Automatically it will give you an error because the marks are 510 and the total marks are 500. So you have made a typing mistake. So instead of giving this kind of result to your principal or to the head of the school and giving me the typing mistake, so to erase this typing mistake above 100, whatever goes is error. So it will show me an error here. So let me write again 100 or 99. It gives him A plus. And sometimes you need to highlight some things, some marks or some figure or some number. For example, here I want to highlight those students or those subjects that have been failed. For example, this 32. Norman, he got in chemistry 32 and 32 is failed. So I want to highlight it so that just with the first look you can know that which paper is failed. For this is 32 is failed, and let me find another 32. There is no another 32, but I'll write another one here. It's 38. I'll change it to 32. This is failed. So with just see the first look you can find out that which person has failed which paper, So to highlight them, we will use conditional formatting. Here you see this is conditional formatting, but before going to conditional formatting, as I'm going to use a formula, I'm going to use a formula to show me if the person has achieved less than 33 marks. First I'll do it on marks, on the basis of the marks, and second I'm going to do it on the basis of percentage, and that is more better. I prefer that, but I'll show you why, what is the difference between both of them. So I'll just write the formula here, because if I go to conditional format, I'll select all of this area, go to formatting, conditional formatting, and new rules, and my rule is based on formula. So instead of putting a formula directly here equal to this so, and where if there is an error you will not understand if it's correct or not. So before I prefer to use the formula in a cell. To do that, I'll just select here equal to, if this cell is less than 33. It is or not? Now it will show me. No, false. It is not. Why? Because it is 99. So if I change it to 32, it turns to true automatically. Now when it is true, the conditional format will work. But if it is false, 33, if it is false, conditional format will not work. It will not be formatted. So let me show you. Now I'll drag the formula to the right to see whether it's correct. You see, all false. Now I'll drag the formula down. Now you see false, 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 false. This should be true. Let me see. 33, 33, 32. I have to drag the formula because these are 5 subjects. Let me drag here. You see, now this turns to true because this one, let me click in the formula bar. You see this, it's below 33, so it's automatically turns to true. But what if the total marks, this is on the basis of 33 marks, I've hard coded here, but what if the total marks are 50? Suppose English is 50. Okay, now the passing percentage is 33 in every subject. So let me change all these marks. For example, now it says that, let me give him 17. 17 is a passing marks, but it says fail because it is calculating 33. I don't want 33. What I want is to give it according to percentage. Now achieving 17 marks out of 55 is a passing marks. For example, if you double the marks, 17 out equal to, you get 34, and 34 is passing. But here it gives me a true. It tells me that is failed because the marks are 17. But you see, he's not failed the paper. This paper is passed. To do that, it's better to use. It is better to use an percentage according to the percentage. So to do that, I'll just change the formula. Let me delete this. Now you understood why I've used this. So I'll use a formula, and the formula is equal to this cell 17 divided by 50, the total marks. I'll lock this cell because I'm going to drag the formula by pressing F4. Now this, let me close them in brackets and press enter. What I get is 0.34 and multiply by 100. For multiplication, use the steric, multiply by 100. I get 34 here total. You see, this is the percentage he has achieved. Now if I turn back this to 100, you see he has got 17%, and change back this to 33. Now for conditional formatting, I've returned this cell should return true or false. Now I have already calculated it. I want if to check if this is less than 33. Less than 33. Press enter. It returns false. Now let me change this to 32. It returns true. Now my condition format will work perfectly. So I'll do, I'll just copy this formula, Control C, press escape, select all this area, click on conditional formatting, new rules, use formula. There are so many other options, but I'm going to use a formula. Double click on it, use formula. I just press Control V to paste the formula. Now I want to format it. The format it should be underlined, single. It should be, the font color should be red, and let me change it to bold. If you like, you can change it to bold also, and click OK. Now click OK. Now you see, with the first glance of a look, you can see that's 32, 32, 32. These papers are failed. So I used let me delete this because I don't need it anymore. Now I use a percentage. Why? Now if I change this, the total marks to 50, automatically it changes, because 32 out of 50 is passed. That's why I used a percentage. I didn't use a fixed 32 marks. Let me make it to 100. Till here we have completed some of our works. We have found the grades, and this is the conditional formatting. And now let's find the position. Let me write PST shortcut for position. If you want to apply the same format, you can just click here on the format painter, click here, and then click on the format cell. It turns to bold automatically, and the same format is applied. So find the position of each and every student, whether he is first or second or third in the class. I'll use a table to find that, because sometimes the positions are repeated. Maybe there were 2 persons who are first in the class. So to find that, I'll just create a table here. I'll create a table here. I'll write marks. I'll write here position. I'll just put a position, put a shortcut PST position. And the marks, first of all, I have to find the maximum marks that have been achieved by the students. So to do that, I'll use a formula that is called large, equal to large, press tab. Now the array, this is the array. These are the lines that I want to find, marks that I want to find the largest achieved. I'll select them, comma. Now it tells me what I want. I want the first one that has achieved the most marks. So I want the first one who has achieved the highest marks, number 1. Just press enter. You get 460. 460 are the highest marks. You see here, 460. Now the one who has achieved 460, let me write here, should be given first. Now I want to find the second. Let me center this, center it, and give it a border. Now I want to find out the second one who has achieved the second highest marks. So I'll use the same formula, equal to large, array is the same. I'm just going to repeat it for you, comma. I want the second highest marks, 2. It gives me 432. It should be second. So instead of writing it by 1 and 2, you just select both of them, drag them till 5, and this formula I'll lock it, fix the table, this array, by pressing F4, press enter. I'll just drag the formula, then I'll make the changes later on up to here. Now instead of 464, instead of first, I want second. Here I want the third. Here I want the 4th highest marks. Here I want the 5th. You see, in the formula bar I'm making the changes, and here I want the 6th. So if you want to find the top 10, you can do the same way. I'll just stick to the 5. That's enough, I think. Let me delete this. Now to give automatically the position, I'll use a VLOOKUP formula, equal to VLOOKUP, that's vertical lookup, VLOOKUP. The lookup value is the marks, the total marks that has been achieved. So I'll click here, comma. It says table and array, so I have to select all this table from here. This is my table, comma. The second thing that it's asked me is the column and index that I want to return. The return value, what should it return? It should return this. So this is column number 1, this is column number 2. I want it to return the value. Suppose if it finds 460, then I want the VLOOKUP to return first. So this is column number 2. I'll write 2, comma. Now it asks me approximate match or exact match. I want the exact match, so I'll just write 0 and press enter. You see, it gives me second. 432 is second. I'll just lock the table because I want to drag the formula by pressing F4, enter. Now I'll just fill the formula, Control D. For those values which are not found, for example 297 is not found in this table, so it will automatically give me an error. So to avoid this, I'll wrap my formula in another formula. So I'm going to wrap it in another formula, and that formula is if error. I'll just write if error. Now if this formula is giving me an error, you see this one value is giving me an error, then what it should return? It should return a blank space. For blank cell, you'll just write double quote commas twice, and it will return a blank cell for you, blank value. Just press enter. Now I'll fill the formula, Control D. You see, now the NA is gone, because if this value is giving me an error, then it should return a blank value, a null value, and that blank cell. That's all. For blank cell, we just enter double quote, and it returns the blank cell. But there is one other thing. What if a person has achieved, there are two persons who have achieved the first or the second position? What will you do? Suppose 460, where is 4, or let's take the second one, 432, this is the, you see, this is second. What if this person has also achieved the same numbers? Let me do it. Just press Control D. Now you see second, the third is gone. Let me Control Z. Let me show you. See, you get first 460, second 432, and third 415. Now as I change this, when there comes two persons who have achieved the same marks, Control D, what you get? 2 seconds, but the third is gone. Why? Because it assumes that this is the first large, this is the second large. It omits the third large and goes to the fourth one. So we have to make some changes to our formula. To this one, we want to count the number of positions that have been achieved. How many persons have achieved this numbers 460? How many persons have achieved 432? So that we can keep on changing our marks. You see here, for second and third, it has given 430 to 40 because the first value is 460. You see here, 460. Now 432 is twice, so this is the second largest, this is the third largest. It doesn't count like that. It doesn't shows me that this is not the third, this is the second one. To achieve that, I'll use count. I must count the number of persons who have achieved these numbers. To do that, I'll use a function that is called CountIf. CountIf means it counts only the criteria that I'll give it. I'll just write here equal to CountIf. You see, when I type count, it gives me all the options: count, count A, count blank, count if s. I'll just use CountIf at the moment. So it gives me the range. The range is these marks, and I'll fix the range by pressing F4, comma. The criteria is 460. This is the criteria. I want to count how many students have achieved 460. I'll just click the criteria. I don't want to lock it because as I drag my formula, so it should go to the next cell. I'll just press enter. It says 1. Now let me fill the formula just by pressing Ctrl D. I'll remove this last one. I'll just give it a border. Now you see here it says 432 have been achieved by 2 students. Where is it? You see second 2. Now this, we are going to use this criteria, this count in our cell now. So to do that, now you see in this formula I've given 1, first one, I've given the second largest one. Okay, now I want this to be automated. For example, now the 460 has been achieved by 1 student, so this is 1, but 432 has been achieved by 2 students, so the next number here should not be 3, it should be 4. So now to count, to make it automatic, for example, let me show you here in this formula. I've written 1. Instead of this 1, I want it to be automated. I mean, if 2 persons have achieved the first marks, then it should automatically move to the next one. To make it, let me show you, it's number of persons, number, how many persons have achieved the same. Now if the count says that 460 is by 1 person, so I'll just write 1 here, and I'll link it here. Let link this cell. Instead of 1, I'll link this cell into D15. Now I'll just, now this should be the second, this should be the third, fourth and 5. Let me drag the formula also as I've linked it. Ctrl D. Now if I write 1 here, it will return the same. You see here it's returning me the first one, 1, it only returns me the first one. But now I want first, second, third, fourth and fifth. But here the count says that 432 has been achieved by 3. Now see here, second, first. Where is third? The third has been omitted. Why? Because it goes to the third as this one. This is 1, 2, 3. Now here I should write 4. If I write 4, it gives me automatically third. You see here, because this is the third number. Now this third, as this is 1, 2, 3, this is the fourth one, this should go to 5, and this should go to 6. You see, now I get all the numbers. So I want this count to be automated. I'll just enter the shortcut hashtag number, fix it, give it a border. So I want this to be automated, and to do that I'll have to add, for example, this is the first one is first, no problem, but for the second I'll have to add this to this, and how to automate it, so I have to add this, I have to find this number automatically. I'll just use the formula equal to the count, the number of persons who have achieved 460 is 1 plus 1, it will give me 2. Now as I drag the formula, you see I automatically get these numbers. Now let me do some changes here. Let me make this 33. Now you see automatically it gives me the numbers. 1 person has achieved first, 1 person second, 1 person, all of them are 1. And if I make the first one 2, for example, let me fill this, Control D. Now you see it gives me 2 person have achieved first, it gives me the count 2. Now this 2 plus 1 automatically gives me the third largest number. That is the third largest number. You see here I've linked it, D16. D16 means this one, this cell. It gives me a third largest number, and the 3 plus 1, that means only 1 person has achieved the second position, so 3 plus 1, it gives me automatically gives me 4. But what if 2 persons have achieved second position? Let me do that. Let me make this also 2%, enter. Now you see it automatically gives me 2%. Now 2 plus the 3 plus 2 automatically gives me the fifth largest number. So this way it is automatic. Instead of writing manually here 1 and then 2 and 3, it will not give you how many percent have achieved the same position. But if you give this formula with the criteria here from here, you see now this gives me the fourth largest number, the fifth one. And because 2 have achieved, so 2 and 2 4 plus the fifth one has achieved this one, one person has achieved third, it gives me 5. One has seen, what if 2 persons have achieved third? Let me make it that 2%. This is the formula, this is the numbers. Just copy them and come here at the end, paste special and just values. Now this person, now there are 2 persons that have achieved third, 1 and 2. It automatically counts 2. So fifth largest number plus 2 is equal to 7. 7 plus 1. So this way you can automate your numbers. Let me make the changes for I have made some changes to the marks so that only one student is first, second, third, as you can see. So but there is one drawback in our mark sheet, and that is this person has failed English, Tahir, but he has been given the grade A. So what I want, that if a person is failed, he should not be given a grade. So to do that, first I have to count how many papers this person has failed, and it will be easy for you to know the number of papers that has been failed. So I'll just write here a shortcut, failed papers, failed paper, and let me apply a border. And to count, I'll just apply a border here also. To do that, I'll use a helper column. That is more easy. As I have 5 subjects, from here on I'll just leave this for pass. At the end I'll decide whether the person is pass or he's failed, and that will decide in the end. Let's give it a border. So I'll leave this column. In this column, this is one subject number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's resize them. What I want is, I want to find about these 15 students if they have failed the paper. So for these are my helper columns. I'll just write here helper column. Now to do that, I'll just find the percentage of the person equal to how many percent he has achieved. So let's do that, equal to this first one divided by this total marks. I'll fix the marks because I have to drag the formula, but I'll fix only the row, not the column, because as I drag the formula to my right, then the cell should move automatically. Let me fix it first and I'll show you. It gives me 0.1. Let me give it a percentage. That makes it 10%. So that means that this paper is failed. This one is failed. Now I'll as I fixed it, let me show you. As I drag the formula, double click it, it gives me 99 because it's dividing this. It gives you 99, but the 100 is fixed here. You see, even though all the numbers are in 100, but maybe sometimes this could be 50. So I want this cell to move, the formula to move automatically to this side. To do that, I'll fix the row but not the column. So I'll remove the $sign from from the column. Press enter. Now I'll drag the cell here. Just double click it. You see, as I change this to 50, for example 50, it automatically changes here also 194, because now it moves. Let's do it 100. Now you see here, let's click here, it goes to 100 here, this total marks, this goes to this total marks, and you see here it goes to here. So this is fixed. Now I'll just drag, fill the formula, Control D, double click it. Now from here I can easily count if the percentage is less than 33. I'll use a CountIf function, CountIf tab. Now range, this is the range, comma. Now to enter the greater sign or less than, I have to close it in double quotes, double quote, less than, double quote, and use the ampersand sign, ampersand, 0.33. Press enter. You see, now it shows me that one paper is failed here. If I make this also 32, the count goes to 2. Two papers are failed and it is highlighted here. This way we can count how many papers have been failed. Let me fill this down, the formula, Control D. To remove the zeros, I'll use a conditional format. I'll go to conditional formatting, new rule, and using a formula, click here. If this cell, I'll remove the dollar sign from both sides. If S6 is equal to 0, in format, font color should change to white. That's all. Okay. Okay. See, now you cannot see the 0 is there, but you cannot see it, so it has been changed to the white color. Now we can hide this helper column later on. Now I'll use a if function to remove the grades or to give pass and fail for the person. Oh, sorry, I've applied the formula. I'll just move this here. That's all. Just format it. So how to find out the pass and the fail? Now this person, Tahir, he has failed in English and maths, so he should be failed even though he has got B grade, good mark. To find out if the person is passed or failed, this is our criteria. Suppose this Tahir, he has failed 2 papers, maths and English, so he is failed, he is not passed. To do that, we'll use the if formula, equal to if, press tab. Now our logical test is this: if this is equal to 0, that means he has failed, none of the papers are failed, so this will be 0. This R6 is equal to 0, that means he has passed all the papers, so he must be pass, comma, and comma. But if he has failed 1 or 2 paper, then he should be failed. Press enter. You see, fail. Now let's fill the formula. I'll select till end, Control D. You see, all are pass and the rest are fail. This is fail, this is fail, and the rest are pass. But if you don't want to give them the grade also, then we will enclose this lookup with if formula. Type if tab, this cell is equal to bracket fail, comma, then give blank, comma. Just press enter. See, now the grade is not given. Why? Because I enclosed the previous formula in if S6 this is equal to fail, then it should return blank, and if not, then it should return the grade. Now I'll just fill the formula. See, now those students who have failed, they have not been given any grade, they have been removed from the grade. And the same you can apply for your position also. But hope you like the video. and we have to give some, before ending the video I think we should give some good look to it. Here I'll write name of the Zen Tech school name, whatever it is, Zen Tech School, and college. Here I'll write the class 10th, for example the section A. We can make this bold by pressing Ctrl B, and we can increase the font from here. Let's make it 12, 14. Yes, that's it. Let's move this A to another cell, 10th A. Or we can write it together also, 10th space A. Let's move this class 10th A. So you can hide these helper columns if you want by clicking hide. And so to do that I'll fill the background with a different color. First I'll select light blue, and I'll change this color as it is going to be printed, so I'll change this to back to white, no fill, and this is for grade, so I'll change the color here also. I'll give it a different color, light green. This should be also different in color. And this should also be different color. Same. I'll remove this extra border, and let's make this bold, Control B. Let's make this also bold, Control B. These are the markings, Control B bold. These are the marks, let's make it bold. These also Control B. So hope you like the video, and don't forget to share, subscribe the channel, and if you want to, let's add something else also. Let's count, before leaving, let's count how many students are passed and how many students are failed. We can do that also here very easily. To count the total pass and fail students, we'll use the CountIf formula. CountIf. Now this is our range. First I'll count the pass, those students who are passed, comma, the criteria is PASS. The spelling should be the same. Press enter. It shows me 11 students are passed. Okay, now I want to count the failed students also. I'll use a slash, and to do that, to join two formulas together and show them as text with a slash or bracket, whatever you want, so we have to use the and% sign. This is for concatenate. And%, comma, double quotes, slash, double quotes, and%. Now I'll use again the same formula. I'll just copy this formula because it's the same. I just have to change the criteria. I'll just copy this formula, Control C, press Control V, and I'll change this pass to fail. Press enter. Now it shows me 11 students are passed and 4 students are failed. If you want to count the total students, then you at the top you can count all the students. We'll use count A function, count A, and select all the names, because from here you will know how many students there are. Press enter, and it shows us, and the total number of students is 15. We can reduce the fonts. 15 out of 15, 11 are passed. We can center this and hope you like the video. If you have anything to share, you have any other ideas to share it in the comment section. I'll be glad to reply for it. Hope you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching.